Welcome to my tutorial of all Shadow Temple related goals in Bingo. This tutorial is geared more towards beginners, so I will not be going over difficult strats such as boat skip. But let's get started. For Shadow Temple, you mostly only need hookshot and some form of explosives. Choose or bombs both work. So first we're just going to head over to get the map and hover boots. Shadow Temple map and compass are generally considered very fast, especially because you can get them at the same time as hover boots. So this is the map room. It's very easy. You just jump slash this redead, and you want to target these keys without moving forward, or they will fly around. Okay. Now we'll head over to hover boots. A good thing to know about this area is there are nuts located right here. This is good if you need to BA stuff or if you just need nuts for maybe forest goals. There's also a heart in this pot. It will be a heart if you actually don't have full health. There are also hearts in this pot which you need to shield because it will attack you, and a heart in this pot. So in case you're ever on low health and you want some more hearts, you can always go up there. So now we're going to fight Dead Hand. Dead Hand is very simple. You just jump slash into one of his arms straight on and you'll kind of just bounce off of it. Thing about Dead Hand fight is where he spawns is RNG, and if he spawns in the center you have to wait for him to actually come outside and in a line where jump slashing onto him will not cause you to be caught by the hands. So I'm going around him right now in order to kind of move him more towards the wall so I can kill him in one cycle instead of waiting for another cycle. So you want to crouch stab off of a jump slash and then do a normal slash. If you miss the double hit, it's fine. You can just walk around and do a crouch stab. The normal slash after the first crouch stab is to make sure that just in case you don't hit with the double slash like I did there, he won't just go back in to the ground and you won't have to do a second cycle. You can just walk around. If you did 2 jump slashes, he would go back into the ground. Or, I think it's not that, but it would be like the child where you need to do another jump slash instead of you just crouch stabbing. But anyways, now that we have hover boots, we're going to head over to Tree Spinner. I would not recommend doing Tree Spinner skip. You can do it if you want, but it only saves 10 to 20 seconds off of first try. And if you buffer it, it may not save you that much. So this is very basic to RTA. You just want to pull or push. It's really just up to you. So there I got first try. Every try other than first try is about 10 seconds. So now they're going to come down here. If you need the compass, you want to head straight right here. If you need 4 sculptulas or 5 sculptulas, a good way to actually just save a few seconds is to take out your bomb and throw it right when you line up with this beamos, and that will line up the bomb right with the wall. And you'll head over to the other side of the room where you will get a small key. But for right now, we're just going to get the compass. What I like to do for this room is I like to go all the way back to the wall, side up twice, jump slash this guy, and then side up 3 times to the other one. And that just kind of avoids any risk of you getting caught by them. So again, because map and compass and shadow are very early on, they're considered very fast goals, and they are generally one of the several compasses you want for 7 or 6 map and compass goals. So now for every other goal besides map and compass, we're going to be heading over here to get a small key. If you have bombs, you can actually do a weird shot. I'll show that off real quick. What I like to do is I like to line up here, but you can also line up with this wall, it just makes it a little harder because it's a little harder to see your bomb. If you don't know what a weird shot is, that's okay. You don't need to do it. And so now you can just hook shot the chest. But what I'm actually going to show now is what you will do if you don't have bombs and you don't want to do a true weird shot, which are very difficult. So we're just going to collect all these rupees to open that gate. There's nothing really special to it. Most people use this route, and you can just kind of copy the movement. There's really nothing that needs to be explained with it. So now we're going to come down here. You still do want, if you have 4 Shadow Temple Skulltulas, you still do want the Skulltula that is right above me. So what you're going to do gate skip is we're going to get into this corner, line up with this wall. We're going to side hop left 3 times. And what you want to do here is you want to basically press C up, press right on your joystick, and press C up almost immediately after you press it the first time. So it'll look something like this. And that'll give you just a very slightly different angle. What you want to make sure when you do this is you do not want to press C. If you press C right now, he will line up with the wall again. If this does happen and you haven't moved, you can just go ahead and do the angle thing again. But once you have this, you want to do 1 crouch tab. You can also do 2. I see a lot of people doing that. It doesn't matter. And then once you do that 1 crouch tab, then you can press C, because now you're far away from the wall and you won't line up with it, and you want to jump slash. And once you do that, you can either jump slash again or you can side hop. You do want to do that fast, because if he gets back up, he kind of moves backwards after a jump slash and he'll clip back inside of the gate. So this is a little different depending on if you want to beat Shadow or get the boss key, or if you're going for Skulltulas. You can, if you're going for the boss key or you want to beat Shadow, you can do a little wheel jump here. I like to line up with just very barely left of the wall here. And you should just kind of either climb the wheel or just clip up like that. Otherwise, if you are going for Skulltulas, you want to hook shot up to this ladder. If you hook shot up to the right side of it, you actually clip, and you actually want to make sure you're targeting the ladder. You'll actually clip inside of it, so you don't actually have to climb up the ladder. So this trick can be done with both bomb chews and bombs. It's a little easier with bombs because it's just a basic side hop. Make a side hop. But a good way to do it is, after you climb up the ledge, either from the ladder or from here, you can just do 4 rolls. Do a basic mega side hop setup, which is the pole bomb, roll, and backflip. And then once you're being pushed backwards, you can just equip hover boots and just hold down, and you should climb up. It is possible for this one to fail, and you will just kind of get a glitched grab where you will fall straight down. I believe this is based on positioning, so if you do 4 rolls there, you should be able to make it. So now, if you're going for 5 Skulltulas, or you're going for boss key or whatever, you want to ride the boat. If you are not going for 5 Skulltulas, you're going for 4 Skulltulas, you can actually just side hop into the void and you'll go back up to the door on the previous floor. But for right now, we're just going to ride the boat. You also may want to take off hover boots. It can be a little difficult to fight Selfless with hover boots. So this is not really important for VC players because very little lag on VC. But for N64 players, a good strategy here is to kill this Stalfos and then get into this corner over here. And you can use hookshot to reduce the lag a little more. Stalfos tend to cause a lot of lag in areas like this. And by getting into this corner, you actually prevent the second Stalfos from spawning, which can just save a little bit of time with lag. If you're on VC, this doesn't matter at all. Fighting the second Stalfos itself does not waste time, it's only because of the generated lag. So now we're going to come off here. If you're going for the boss key or you're going for the Skulltulas, you want to come all the way over here and enter the maze room over here. Otherwise, you can do the basic RTA method of chew to get across this chasm, or you can just super slide across it if you have bombs. So the maze room, there are two main rooms that people tend to go to. This room contains the boss key. What you want to do to get to the boss key without Jin's Fire is, I'll show it right now, but you want to go to the right side where closest to where the Redead is, and once you're actually touching the spike wall, you want to pull out your sword, and that will cause the Redead to scream at you. If you do not pull your sword, he will not actually notice you, and he will just kind of sit down, sitting down, and you won't clip through the wall. So you need to make sure you pull your sword. Another important thing about this is you usually take about 3/4 of a heart of damage when you clip through the wall, and then you will take a heart of damage when the walls close. So make sure you have enough health if you aren't just save warping out. So I'll just go ahead and get the boss key right now. Go into the wall, pull a sword, and he'll stand up. And then you don't even need to kill him, you can just roll into the chest. And then to kill him, you can just smash B. It doesn't matter because the wall's still there and you can't get past it, so you just need to wait for it to close. So now we're going to get one of the Skulltulas. This is the Skulltula that is the difference between 4 Skulltulas and 5 Skulltulas. Like I said before, by jumping into the void, you go back up to the door way before the boat. And the reason that the 2 goals are so different is because this Skulltula requires Zelda's Lullaby by riding the boat, whereas the other 4 Skulltulas do not require Zelda's Lullaby. So we're just going to get the Skulltula. It's very basic. From here, with 5 Skulltulas, you just want to save warp. But I'm going to go show quickly the boss key skip with a chew. So I'll show the chew methods really quick because usually when you beat Shadow Temple, you're going to have chews. It's very rare for you to have bombs when you have beat Shadow. Usually it's better to get Zelda's Lullaby as a child if you have just beat Shadow. But that isn't always the case. So if you do have bombs, you can look up strategies for this. But so right now, we're basically going to get into this little edge. I like to line up with the line right here, make sure it's almost all the way covered with Link's right side of his body. You want to shield drop a chew, turn left, and then you want to wait maybe half a second to a second before rolling and doing Mega Side Hop. And then once you do the Mega Side Hop, you want to equip Hover Boots, hold down, and jump slash right at the end of the Hover Boots. So it should look something like this. Not that. I haven't done this in a while. Like this. Equip Hover Boots, hold down, and jump slash. If you jump slash early or you jump slash late, you might not make it, so make sure you have the correct timing. This room is very simple. What I like to do is I like to hold Z, go left, and then go right, and you'll be just fine. And then for the boss key skip, I like to line up with the center of this door, do a bonk, and then you can decide hop from there. If you aren't centered, you'll actually just go off the edge or you won't grab the ledge at all. So I just pull a chew. You want to wait for the 3rd black frame. This frame also works. You can go 1 frame early or 2 frames late. but they have varying roll frames and clip frames. But the most lenient by far is the black frame. So this one. So now you just want to hold Z and hold down. Hold left almost immediately after you grab the ledge. And then you want to hold left until you see this frame right here. This is the first possible roll frame. This is the second, and you can also go one past this. So continue holding left and roll. And you want to buffer until the first frame that Link grabs the ledge. This frame. Depending on your roll frame, you'll have a different amount of frames between when you roll and when he actually grabs the ledge, so be careful of that. So once you have this frame, you just want to hold Z and he should clip into the boss door. Like so. Okay, so now for Bongo. You want to jump slash here so you have a jump slash stored. You want to hold down. This is going to look a little weird because the cutscene is not the same as when you would see him normally. You want to hold down though so you make sure that he doesn't go behind you. And you want to get ISG and not kick crabs like this. Hopefully you have hearts so that doesn't kill you, but it probably would. So you want to get ISG. Or you can just stab him. Alright, there we go. And what I like to do for here is I like to make sure my left side is facing him. And then you can just kind of slowly walk into him and he'll die. Because Shadow Cutscene Skip tends to be very finicky with your health, I'm not going to bother showing that. There are a lot of different setups for it, so I would highly suggest looking those up. And a good thing to note about Shadow Cutscene Skips for a lot of the setups is you either want to line up with one of these themes on the platform, or you don't want to move at all when the fight starts. So seams like this seam right here, and there's another seam. You can kind of see it because the texture makes a little bit of a corner right here. So we're going to head back to the Sword of Shadow to finish up the sculptural goals. That's not Shadow. Okay, so now if you're doing 4 sculpturalids or 5 sculpturalids, we're going to head to the other side of Shadow. So we're just gonna go through here. There are 3 sculpturalids right here, and you either need to hex past them, super slide, long shot past them, or you want to kill or stun them. The easiest way is just to get them to come out and then use hookshot to kill them. And that's what I would suggest for beginners. It is possible to soft lock yourself on this one by getting caught in between him and this little pole right here. So that's why I would suggest not stunning them. And now this is all just very basic movement. To be safe here, it is a good idea to possibly equip hover boots. You do not need to. And there you go, I failed anyways. A good thing to note about those guillotines is that they only damage you when they are actually falling. If they are raising up, they will not hurt you. So if you're not sure about whether or not you're actually going to get hit by one of them, you can just wait until it falls and you'll be fine. You do want to be a little careful of the bubble right there. He will generally always jump over you, but it's possible for him to hit you. So we're just going to come around here. For this room, what you generally want to do is there's a like right next to the Skulltula, and the Skulltula is behind a cage. So in order to open the cage, we have to kill all the enemies, the Skulltula and 3 keys in the room. But you can use the Skulltula, the like is what you need to kill, not the Skulltula. But you can use the like to equip into the Skulltula room. And you want to take off your armor boots for this. If you're not comfortable with using the like because he's not RNG, but he can be a little finicky to set up, you can always do a weird shot. So I'll try to set him up. I'm not that great at it myself. I like to line up with this third from the left line right here. Wait for him to get close. And then you kind of want to make him get close to the wall. If he's not close enough, you want to actually clip through the wall. And once he actually touches the left side of the gate right there, you want to stun him and then pull out your hook shot while holding Z and right, and you should be able to clip through when you use your hook shot. And to be extra safe here, I like to stun him right here. Otherwise it's possible for him to actually grab you and take your shield. So for now, we're just going to go back to the other side of the room. You can use hover boots to be extra safe here. I believe you can make the cycle without hover boots though, and it just saves 1 or 2 equips. But it's definitely a lot easier if you use your boots. So for the rupee inside of the Beamos, you actually don't need to kill the Beamos, you can just kind of walk into him and you'll grab it. So for this room, the Skulltula itself is actually inside there, and there's an opening over there, which we get into it. But a lot of people like to come over here because inside of this pot is a guaranteed bomb drop, and inside of this pot is a heart drop. So you want to wait for the spikes to go up until you go through. And the Skulltula is a little weird. His token actually spawns a little bit above him, but there's nothing bad about that. I'm guessing they just messed up when developing it. So let me show that again because I didn't really explain it. With these spike traps, if you stand on the very edge of them, it is actually possible to backflip and clip through them on top of them, onto them as they are falling, like that. It's not too uncommon to get crushed. Don't worry, there are hearts up here if you need them. Both of these pots contain hearts. And then what we're here for is actually the small key. This area is actually very strange. You want to make sure if you have hover boots on that you do not touch the edge. I'll show it right now, but unlike normal areas with hover boots, you won't actually walk onto the edge like so. Well, actually, there you go. These are kind of slippery slopes that don't really look like them, but if you touch this, you won't actually be able to walk back. You'll just kind of slide off, and you'll be just stuck hovering like that. Whereas, like this kind of area, you can just walk back on if you fall. So you do want to be very careful of that. So for here, generally if you're coming from the spike fall room, you'll have to wait 1 cycle, and a good way to actually tell where this moving block is, so I guess there's actually a moving block here that's invisible, and in order to tell where it is, you can use your hook shot. If you notice when it moves, you can actually see the little reticle moving, so you want to wait until the reticle moves all the way towards you like that, and then you can go. So this room, we're just getting all 5 rupees. You don't need hover boots. There are some hidden spikes, but they only deal quarter heart damage, so you don't really need to worry about them. For this readout right here, what I like to do is I like to hookshot and immediately hold down left and roll away from him. If you hold Z or you walk a little closer to him, he will yell and freeze you in place. It's just a little bit of a time waste, but there is a way to get around it. So for right here, there's actually an invisible hookshot target right around here. A good way to just kind of know where it is, I kind of do about, I'd say maybe 3/4 of the way down from the wall. So it should be right there. And then once you're up here, you can just grab this groupie with hover bits. And this Redad will actually try to attack you, but he will almost never freeze you very fast enough. And now we have the last Skulltula right here. So that's 5 Skulltulas. And that is all the Shadow Temple goals. So I hope you enjoyed my Shadow Temple tutorial for Bingo. And let me know what you think. I would love any kind of improvement tips. Thank you.